Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the knife community. Friday, got through the work day. A lot more successful trucking today. But, all that aside, it is Fixed Blade Friday. So, let's get into it and try to keep it short and sweet and interesting. I want to talk about a old stacked leather knife today, and I'm 90% sure this is the original sheath when you look at examples online from this knife. This company has a very early history, a very rich history in America's cutlery. Now, when you look at that blade shape, that thing just screams Marble's woodcraft knife. But this is actually a Belknap from Louisville, Kentucky. Now, Belknap Hardware, obviously hardware company, they did not make their own knives, as per usual with most hardware company knives. You can still see the bluegrass etch on this blade. Has a little bit of use to it, but no abuse. It's got one little wrinkle right there in the edge and carbon spotting, but no major pitting or rust issues. Handle is in great shape. Finger guard has got just a little bit of wobble in it, but you can only tell if you're mashing it back and forth. But as I said, this looks very similar to the blade profile of a Marble's, but it is not. So Belknap Hardware Company, 1840 to 1985, one of the largest and oldest hardware companies which marketed knives. Very cool history. Most people know them for the John Primble marked knives, and the Primbles were reproduced over and over by other companies even after Belknap Hardware was gone. And Belknap Hardware outlasted all of its major hardware competitors, such as Chapelet Hardware out of St. Louis, and once again, guys, these are hardware knives. They're all made by someone else, Charade or Camillus or whoever. Belknap outlasted HSB, Hibbard, Spencer, and Bartlett. They outlasted Simmons, aka King Cutter, which unfortunately I don't have one of those examples to show you right now. I've sold off what king cutter knives I had because most of them were just parts knives or in really poor shape. Outlasted Van Camp hardware, outlasted Witt hardware, outlasted everybody as far as hardware companies that marketed knives. And from my research, the Bluegrass line was dropped in the 1950s. And also, interestingly enough, Bluegrass Cutlery Co., who we know makes the Winchester reproductions and a few others, they're the ones who bought the John Primble trademark and the Bluegrass trademark, hence the name Bluegrass Cutlery Co. Now they were, or are, just jobbers, and still just neat lineage there. Oh, and the Bluegrass name or line being dropped by Belknap, being in the 50s, was on everything except for the Barlows, the Bluegrass bolster stamp knives continued in the Barlow pattern only after the 50s. I'm pretty sure this is a charade produced Barlow, a 204 pattern. Now somebody cleaned this up on some kind of buffing wheel or a fiber wheel. You can see they polished the crap out of it, but this one is marked. Bluegrass on the bolster and John Primble Belknap hardware and Manufacturing Co. I've also at the house I've got a Bluegrass marked double bit axe that I've had since I was a kid and I've used pretty extensively. I think I'm going to clean it up and stop using it as one of my main tools for chopping. I wish I had it here with me to show the complete Bluegrass collection of the double bit, the Barlow, and the knife, but unfortunately it's at the house sitting in a tool bucket with rakes and hose and pry bars and everything else. But as of now, for the collection, I've got the Barlow, Bluegrass Barlow, the Bluegrass hunting knife, and the double bit Bluegrass axe head that I've used since I was young. I think I picked it up when I was 10 or 12 years old. And it's an awesome piece, holds an edge really well. Anyways, back to the Fixed Blade Friday. Sorry. With the Bluegrass line being dropped in the 50s, we're going to date this pre-50. And even though it looks like the Marbles Woodcraft knife, the Marbles Woodcraft knife has a threaded tang. This does not. This pommel is pinned and looks identical to a Kinfolk's K380. So I'm pretty sure this is a Kinfolk's produced knife on contract for Belknap hardware. And Kinfolk's was around, the original Kinfolk's was around from 27 to 48. So I've shown a couple of Kinfolk's examples, so here's another one for you. Also, Boker USA had this knife too, an identical knife in a number 157 pattern, but Boker USA mainly made pocket knives, so pretty sure the Boker example, if you have a Boker 157, is also going to be a Kinfolks produced pattern K380. But anyways, here's your bluegrass Belknap stacked leather hunting knife made by Kinfolks. Most likely towards the end of Kinfolks' demise. I'm going to say mid to late 40s. And I appreciate y'all for checking it out, man. This is Hillbilly Proud 762 Fixed Blade Friday. I appreciate y'all for being here. That's what I'm talking about. Contract knives. Y'all have a good one.